If everyone could take their seats. Go. Good evening. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Great, thank you. I think people are still coming in, but we're going to begin to keep on schedule. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 25th Annual Rental Housing Association President's Awards Reception. Shh. Thank you. We have an incredible group of industry leaders with us this evening, and we're so glad that you can all be a part of it. I'm Mark Epker, 2016 RHA President-elect. Joining me on stage is the current 2016 RHA President, Sarah Matthewson. It's a pleasure to be your MC tonight as we honor our award recipients. I hope that you're enjoying the format this evening with the reception taking place at the sit-down dinner. The evening's awards will be presented shortly. Following the awards, we encourage you to stay, network, enjoy a dessert buffet, and the bars will be open again in the lobby area behind us, or behind you. Tonight's program wouldn't be responsible without the generosity of our elevated sponsors. RHA, a Newmark company, Avalon Bay Communities, Inc., Beacon Communities, Chestnut Hill Realty, Equity Residential, First Resource Companies, Goulston and Stores, Keith Construction, Mass Housing, Peabody Properties, Wingate, and Wynn Companies. Please join me in a round of applause for our elevated sponsors. Tonight we honor Crystal Cornegay, Undersecretary, Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development, and Michael J. Roberts, Senior Vice President Development, Avalon Bay Communities, Inc., with the RHA President's Awards. I'd like to recognize past award winners of the Industry Excellence and Excellence in Public Service Awards and ask them to please stand and be recognized. The past honorees with us this evening: Larry Curtis, Bob Cargman, the Claremont Companies, Bill Wallinger, Dean Dolbin, Tom Gleason, John Keith, Ed Zucker, Arthur Wynn.
Bill McLaughlin.
Oh, okay. And Bill McLaughlin. Last minute addition, thank you. The Excellence in Public Service Award is presented annually to an individual who best exemplifies excellence in the public sector, benefiting the rental housing community. Crystal Cornegay's passion for creating projects and programs that result in stronger communities for modest-income working families is evidenced through her 20-plus year career in community development. In January 2015, Ms. Cornegay became the Baker-Polito administration's Undersecretary for Housing and Community Development. Prior to that, Crystal was Urban Edge's President and Chief Executive Officer. In that role, she combined a laser focus on excellence with keen business management skills to result in a 20% growth in revenue, a 10% growth in the affordable housing portfolio, 10% growth in the number of households served, and many lives touched. Crystal's deep belief that service and partnership are key to increased social equity led her to serve on numerous boards and advisory committees, including Citizens Housing and Planning Association and the National Housing Trust. Her insight and experience enabled her to make significant contributions to each. She's a 2012 graduate of the Achieving Excellence program at Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government. She holds a master's degree in city planning from MIT and a Bachelor of Arts from Hunter College. She's incredibly accomplished with more lofty goals. Crystal's known for her directness and good humor. She enjoys cities, traveling, and spending time with family and friends. We're so pleased to be giving this award to her this evening, and so pleased that she's with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2016 Excellence in Public Service Award honoree, Crystal Cornegay, Undersecretary, Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development.
everybody. This is quite an honor, huh? When people read my bio, I'm just like, oh my God, I sound so impressive. But you guys know me, I'm like not that impressive. One of the great things that I enjoy about this job is, what am I doing? Thank you, Gail. One of the great things that I enjoy about this job is people always remind me that I'm like one of the first undersecretaries in a long time that actually understands the business. And so, you know, people come with these ideas, and I'm just like, it shouldn't take you that long to do that. And just go back and tell that guy that thing. And so I've had to, in the past months, take some time off from being a project manager and learn how to be an undersecretary and really think about big, broad strokes and setting the table so that we can all do our good work in communities. One of the things that you learn to do working for a nonprofit, as you all know, doing affordable housing, is how to have great partners. And it took a little bit of time to figure out what that means in the government sector, but I got a good crash course with my friends at Mass Housing, Tom Gleason and Tim Sullivan over there, who you should all thank for helping to keep me in check every day. We work as a team, we look at issues, and we're all deeply committed to rental housing. I'm from New York, I'm a New Yorker. I love New York the way the guy from Oshkosh loves Oshkosh, so don't say anything about it. I don't know anything about the Yankees, don't talk to me about that, but I love New York, and I love my neighborhood, and I believe in rental housing. I believe that it's important. I believe that it's a way for people to get their start. It's a way for people to live their life, and that it's okay. And I spent many years in a community in which folks who had modest means lived in rental housing all their lives, and they didn't have to own a home to be committed to that community. And it's the work that we do that allows that to happen and allows our places, both urban and suburban and rural, to be diverse and to have diverse options for people. So while this award is great, I mean, it's really great because it's kind of heavy, so if you're in my office asking for something, watch out, because I might just hit you with it, but it's really nice to get the award, not just because it's nice to get awards, but it's nice to get awards from you guys who understand both what the work is on the ground and to some extent what it means to set a table so that you can do the work. I also really love getting the award this year because I get it with Mike. How cool is that? And so I'm sure somebody's going to come up and talk about how fabulous he is, but thank you for sharing this year with me, and look forward to working with you all over the next couple of years to get some good things done. Thank you.
Congratulations, Crystal. All right, so before we move on to acknowledging Michael, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge some of our dignitaries in the room, and Crystal actually kind of stole my thunder there. We have Tom Gleason and Tim Sullivan from Mass Housing in the house. So, Tom is the Executive Director Emeritus, and Tim is the Executive Director. We also have Greg Vassell, the CEO of the Greater Boston Real Estate Board. I saw him from across the room. Thank you. And before we go on, I also just want to take a minute to acknowledge and thank the RHA Board of Directors that are in the room. There's a lot of collaboration and time and effort that goes into bringing forth the amazing programs we do throughout the year, educational programs, networking, legislative, handling things that come our way, like just cause eviction. You name it, this group really dedicates time and comes together. And a couple notes, we had record-breaking attendance at both our fall conference and our summer cookout this year, because they have done an amazing job engaging all of you. So thank you. And for the board of directors, please stand so we can, I know who you are, so like you have to stand. So thank you. See, I saw you. So in addition, we're going to have a slide with all of our former past presidents. We have a number of them in the room tonight, so I want to acknowledge them. We have Gilbert Wynn. How am I doing on the mic? Good? Yeah. Joe McPhee. There's, saw him. Lynn Bora. Karen Fishwill. We have Rick Henkin, who's going in as our chairman of GREB next year. George McHugh. Gordon Pulsifer, Bill Wallinger, Tom Beaton, and Bill McLaughlin. Oh, I have another page. Andrew Chabin, I know I saw him early. Judith Epstein, Dean Dolben, Bill DeShino, and Ed Zucker. So congratulations and thank you. So on to the next. The Rental Housing Association Industry Excellence Award, that's kind of a mouthful, is presented annually to an individual or a company within the rental housing industry, exemplifying excellence in rental housing through both community and civic involvement, as well as professionalism in all aspects of multifamily housing. It is my honor tonight to introduce to you the winner of the 2016 Industry Excellence Award, Michael Roberts. So. Stay put. Breathe. So as a senior vice president of development with Avalon Bay, Michael is involved with bringing to life the vision of these communities that start out as parking lots and fields and shipyards and you name it, vacant mental housing hospitals. So. With 29 years of experience in the industry, he's spent about the last 20 with Avalon Bay. And my entire experience in this industry in Boston has been working with Michael Roberts. So when I joined the company right after him, and I heard people like, oh, who's this Michael Roberts? I'm like, well, they're like, he's the guy that kind of looks like Superman, and he's doing the Prue deal. I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? So, and prior to joining Avalon Bay, Michael spent about 10 years or so in the business on the transaction side. He worked for Edison Capital, he worked for Winthrop Financial, doing the transaction, the finances, and so forth. He joined us, and his first asset with Avalon Bay was the largest acquisition in the company's history, with the most complicated cross-easement agreement that to this day I still don't understand, and he is the only one I think that knows it. And since then, he's been responsible for over $2 billion in development in 6,100 apartment communities. And the thing is, though, the numbers don't tell the story of Michael's accomplishments in the industry, because the thing about Michael is he loves deals that are complicated. Like, if it's messy, if it's like, if it's got a complicated agreement with the town of Lexington that's got like the most complicated, see, I keep saying complicated. So, along the way, the Exeter, Avalon Exeter that we completed recently, there were a number of deals in the suburbs that he provided leadership and brought to life. So that's the number one thing to think about Michael is complicated. So number two, there's three things. So I'm almost there, guys, so just bear with me a second. Number two, what's that? Complicated is right? I mean, I could keep going, but I think we've made the point, so we'll move on. So the second one is in an industry full of big and boastful personalities. No offense, Bill. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I would not use either of those words, big and boastful, to describe Michael's personality. Unassuming, modest, thoughtful, that collaborative, that's kind of the personality. And the best way to illustrate this is you can tell, like, we all have different ways of dealing with stress, and we all have different kinds of stress on the job, So me personally, everybody that I come within a 20-foot radius of gets to hear about my day. So Michael disappears. he disappears. And I'm like, what's going on? I go down, like the computer's on, the bag's on the floor. Then I go back and I look out the window. He's walking along, thinking. So again, very thoughtful, and because he wants to come to the right place, he wants to think about everybody around us, which brings us to that final point, and that has to do with community. And a big part of this award, it's not just about doing a great deal. It's not just about doing, it's not just about like hitting the yield. It's about leaving the community of people and neighborhood in a better place than where we started. And I think this is an area where that is, those walkabouts, sometimes they produce ways to sort of get through those complicated deals. And if you look back at Michael's involvement in the community in Greater Boston, in Boston in particular, he was on the he was the chairman of the Boston Back Bay Association. He's been involved with the Greater Boston Real Estate Board and the Government Affairs Committee. He was on the board of directors for a Better City. He's in ULI, and he served on the Mayor Menino's Housing 2020 advisory panel. So he, and in the process of buying that big complicated building with the crazy easement agreement and bringing Exeter Tower to life over something like a 10-year period. I'm sure you'll talk about that one. And then Theater District, which is like, holy cow, this was this little tiny parking lot, and I'm like, you're gonna fit 400 apartments where? Well, there's gonna be an L, Sarah, and we'll go this way. So it is your connection with the Avalon Bay community, the real estate community in Boston, and the greater community of your residents that we really value, and we want to congratulate you and thank you on your award. So wait for it. Wait for it. So now, and there's some other stuff here, like, he went to Dartmouth, and he's from the Midwest and all that stuff originally, but you're going to hear more about him in a video, and then you can come on the stage.
Michael is dedicated, intelligent, and genuine.
He's a man of his word. He's a classy guy.
Michael's a great leader.
He's charismatic.
Professional, personable, and persistent.
When he takes on a project, he is all in.
Michael is one of the preeminent housing developers in Boston.
Michael's had many accomplishments in his field. We've been involved in the industry together for almost 20 years. Michael has been very focused on the urban markets in downtown Boston. Some of his major accomplishments, I think, are the high-rises that he's built in Boston that have helped reshape the skyline.
Michael's signature deal at Avalon Bay has been his involvement at the Prudential Center. Starting in 1998 when we acquired the existing buildings, right up through last year when we completed Avalon Exeter, which is the best building we own in Boston.
Mike has a tremendous ability to build consensus, whether it's trying to get 7 members of a zoning board to see it his way, or even trying to get our internal investment committee to see it his way to get a project off the ground. I think he's got tremendous skills in order to bring people together.
He never thinks of it as just building the building. He thinks about it as what can Avalon do to improve this community and continue a relationship in the future.
Avalon at Lexington Hills was one of the most complex developments we've ever undertaken.
It took a long time to accomplish. It was really a hallmark of consensus building among municipal officials, neighborhood groups, housing advocates, governmental officials, and I think that his leadership was critical in making sure that project was a success.
In Hingham, we built a very successful project at the Hingham Shipyard.
Here, Michael showed his skill in being able to negotiate very sophisticated real estate arrangements and agreements. There was a huge amount of community opposition and concern, and he was able to bring people together and make compromises, but in a way that made everybody feel good about the project.
So that as the second phase of the Hingham Shipyard came to fruition, we were able to get that project permitted quickly.
I've known Michael for about 10 years. He was on our board of directors, and within a few years, we asked him to serve as our chairman. He saw the need for us to grow and to raise more funds so that the organization could tackle some more challenging types of issues. He's a very interesting person who really cares about his job, but he also cares about life. He cares about his family.
He's got 4 wonderful children and a wonderful wife who mean the world to him.
He also, as a leader, thinks about the families of the employees and gives employees the space to try to be a good parent, and be a good member of their family.
He's a great mentor to people that he works with, a great colleague, and a great friend.
A lot of people really don't get an opportunity to experience Michael's wit, but he's got a tremendous sense of humor, and it comes through every day in the office.
He can be serious, but he can have a good laugh.
He is a good old-fashioned Midwestern guy, and now he's become the oldest millennial in the city of Boston. The RHA Industry Excellence Award is the highest honor in the industry here in Boston and is given every year to someone who contributes more to the industry than they take out.
He's very well respected by a wide variety of people, from the mayor to the architects he deals with, to the contractors, to the community people he deals with.
He is willing to just go through endless community meetings and put up with, unbelievable delays because he knows at the end of the day what he's doing is right for the city, which is to develop more housing.
Congratulations, Michael, on winning the RHA Industry Excellence Award. It's been an honor and a privilege to have worked with you over the past 20 years.
Michael, I'm so thrilled that you have received this much-deserved honor from the Rental Housing Association.
Michael, congratulations.
Congratulations, Michael, on winning this very well-deserved industry award. I've appreciated the years that we've been working together and look forward to many more in the future.
Michael, congratulations on this well-deserved award.
Michael, congratulations, and I am so proud of you for winning this terrific award.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise. That was nice. Thank you for that. Sarah, I want to thank you for that nice introduction as well. Thank you for everyone who participated in that video. That was nice. And thanks to all of you for taking the time out of your busy holiday schedule to be here tonight. And I also want to thank especially the Rental Housing Association for this award. I really do appreciate it. I wanted to start my brief comments tonight and mention a deal that was mentioned in Sarah's remarks and in the video, Avalon Exeter. This particular development is significant to me personally for a couple reasons that I thought were worth noting tonight. First, when it was completed in 2014, after over 12 years of trying to get the deal done, it represented Avalon Bay's first high-rise development in Boston. And it was part of that first kind of wave of new urban housing development that we all collectively have seen come to life in the city over the past few years. But I also think the most significant lesson I learned during the Avalon Exeter process happened at my own home. What we do as an industry is so important. At its core, we're building homes for people to live in. And when it comes to a new high-rise, though, there's something about it. There comes a point in time where that building comes out of the ground, it kind of comes to life a little bit, and it takes its place in the skyline, and there's kind of a permanence to that. That's something special. And for me in Avalon Exeter, I came to realize that when we were just finishing up construction, and I was at home with my wife Sally Ann and our 4 kids, and we were watching the Patriots game, and it was actually a night game. I think it was a Monday night game. And as they do in the night broadcasts on occasion, they broke for commercial and they showed a beautiful nighttime shot of the Boston skyline. And on this particular evening, it was of the Back Bay, where Avalon Exeter was located. And so for the first time ever on national TV, high definition on the big screen in my family room was Avalon Exeter. And so I got very excited. We were recording the game, so I jumped up, I grabbed the remote, I pressed pause, and there it was. And I turned to my kids, my 4 kids, and I'm like, that's it. That is the building I've been working on for all these years. That's Avalon Exeter. And from my perspective, there was this dramatic silence in the room, and I had 4 just wondrous sets of eyes looking at me. And then I saw my daughter Maggie. She was like 15 at the time, and very innocently, she kind of looked at me, she looked at the screen, she looked back at me, and she said, "Dad, why isn't the building taller?" And so for me, that was a lesson that I learned, that this can be a very humbling business as well at times. And I certainly am humble tonight to be the recipient of this award. It really is an honor. And I think, it really kind of hit me when I heard about it. I looked at some of the materials on tonight, and then I saw the list of past recipients. And many of you are here tonight. You've been recognized. I won't repeat all your names, but this list, without exception, is a group of industry leaders that I just have an enormous amount of respect for. And so just to be on that list, I'm really honored to be associated with that group. It really is a privilege and an honor for me. I'm also delighted to be able to be here tonight to celebrate Crystal's award. I love Crystal. She's got a great personality. I've had the good fortune of working with her for the past couple years, and she continues to she brings that energy to her job as Undersecretary of Housing, and so I was delighted to hear I'd be sharing that award with her tonight as well. And so when I thought about who I should be thanking tonight, my first reaction was there's just too many, which is true. When you stay in an industry for almost 30 years, that kind of happens. But what kept coming back to me, and it's interesting, it was in the video, was family. When I'm thinking of what and who to thank. And so first and foremost, I need to thank my Avalon Bay family. I've had the good fortune of spending almost 20 years of my career working with a truly best-in-class organization. And what I mean by that is it is an organization that takes a team approach to everything we do. There's a commitment to integrity that is unwavering. Every decision we make is a long-term decision, and we treat our reputation as our most valuable asset. Every decision we make has our reputation in mind. And so with that, to my Avalon Bay family, who I've had the good fortune of working with for almost 20 years, Bill McLaughlin, Scott Dale, Scott Kenner, Sarah Mathewson, Kate Brown, Beth Naparano, Ann Cornell, to all of you and everyone in the entire Avalon Bay team, Boston team, thank you for the privilege of being a part of such a great organization. I might also add that this is a family that understands that hard work is important, but it's also important to laugh and not take each other too seriously. And I only need to look back 2 weeks ago when we had our annual holiday party. The organizers of the event announced that they were adding, quite randomly I might add, an obligatory dance component to our Yankee Swap. And I'm not going to go into too many details, but I can tell you there were over 50 Avalon Bay associates there. Every single one of the Avalon Bay associates participated in this obligatory dance component. But the highlight, and I just have to say, seeing Bill McLaughlin, a former recipient of this award, pair up with Bill Spiker from our construction group and complete a near flawless, modified ride the pony, follow the yellow brick road dance was priceless. And to steal a term from Julia Wynyard in our development group, it's something you just can't unsee. Outside of my Avalon Bay family, my friends from Goulston and Storrs are here. They do such great work for us, and I feel the obligation. I have to call out Steve Schwartz. We've been working together for almost 20 years, and I'd like to say that after all this time, I feel like Steve's my brother, but honestly, I kind of feel like we're married. Aside from being the smartest guy I know, Steve knows what I'm thinking without having to ask me. He has no problem telling me when he thinks I'm full of it. But most importantly, he's my #1 phone a friend outside of Avalon Bay when it comes to seeking deal advice. So Steve, thank you for all of your help over the years. And then of course, there's my real family who are here. You may have met some of them. I can use this forum to say openly the best thing that ever happened to me as it relates to being involved in real estate was meeting my wife, Sally Ann, 27 years ago. We've been married for almost 24 years. Sally Ann, thank you for your unwavering support, always putting things in perspective, and making me appreciate the importance of family. To my 4 children, unfortunately Maggie is in college in Colorado, but she couldn't be here. My 3 boys, Michael, Thomas, and John are here. They got all dressed up and came out tonight, so I appreciate that. You guys clean up very well. I want to thank them for inspiring me every day, and we also do have 3 college tuitions this year, so they inspire me to work harder every day. And so here's a part where I want to talk about everything I've learned about the rental housing industry over the past 30 years. And the good news is that in my view, it's very simple and it's very brief as well. Many things haven't changed to begin. I mentioned before, what we all do collectively as an industry is incredibly important. That hasn't changed. And it's not just the economic engine that the rental housing industry provides for the greater Boston economy. It's the work we do together to, simply put, provide homes for people. And amongst this group, it's the public-private partnerships that are formed among the RHA membership to create and manage not only market-rate housing, but new affordable housing, much-needed new affordable housing, and workforce housing as well. What has changed is not what we do, but how we do it. And that, to me, over the last 30 years, I can honestly tell you, from my perspective and in my opinion, it has never been a more exciting time to be doing what we're doing. It was a little bit over a year ago, I spoke at the RHA Expo, and my presentation was entitled The Renaissance in Boston Housing. And it is absolutely true. We are all part of this housing that is being created, this renaissance in housing, and it's truly a once-in-a-generation occurrence. And it's happening all around us. We can see it. Any neighborhood you go to, you can see this renaissance in housing. And it's not just the number of homes that are being created, even though that is unprecedented. It's the fact that we're creating new neighborhoods. I mean, you look at Assembly Row, you look at the Ink Block, you look at the Seaport District. Whole new neighborhoods are being created. Existing neighborhoods are being redefined. The Theater District, Downtown Crossing, just pick a neighborhood. And what is happening truly is a renaissance. And it's also the fact, with the architects in the room, the buildings that we are building are of high design. And what I mean by that, it's focused on energy efficiency. There's focus on incorporating new technologies, innovation in style and new materials. And what we are building is just, it's exciting to be a part of. The unit layouts, we're thinking about them more than we ever have, but it's not just that. It's not just the finishes. It's not the amenities. It's about public realm. We're taking these buildings and we're thinking about how they fit in the neighborhoods that we are building them. And there's a specific focus on who these buildings are for, who these homes are for, something that we're doing today in a way that we have never done before over the past 30 years. And so it's really the way we're executing this renaissance that's so exciting to me. And I can tell you personally, one of the things that has changed for me over the years has been an appreciation of working with all the bright new young professionals that are part of this rental housing industry. In a word, it's energizing. And so to all of you future leaders, I can see a lot of you here that are within our organization. I stand here tonight and I say, enjoy and appreciate this renaissance. It's something special, and it's something I'm very excited to be a part of. So in conclusion, I want to give a tip of the hat to my dad. He's not here to enjoy this moment, but he was a great guy, and I want to share with you 2 of his favorite sayings. One from Vince Lombardi: luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, so always be prepared and you'll deserve to be lucky. And when someone hands you the football, always look for the opening and never be afraid to cut up field. So thank you tonight for this great honor. I really appreciate it.
On behalf of the Rental Housing Association, I'd like to congratulate Michael and Crystal. Thank you very much, Michael. We'd ask, and before we send you on your way to enjoy dessert and cocktails and mingling and all that, so please don't leave, I just want to take a minute to thank the amazing crew at the Greater Boston Real Estate Board that really make these events happen. I see John hiding over there, and Marianne is somewhere. and Dominic and Josh. They're all, it's really an amazing team at Greb, and they do a lot for us as an industry, so I want to thank them. Thank all of you for joining. Congratulations. And please enjoy the dessert stations and cocktails and the rest of your evening. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.